first Catholic Mass in the Philippines? Where did the first Catholic Mass take place in the Philippines? So, where exactly the first Catholic Mass take place in the Philippines has been a subject of a long study and controversies. So let's find out the truth through our presentation. Primary source: Albo's log. The log kept by Francisco Albo, a pilot of Juan Magellan ship Trinidad. He was one of the 18 survivors who returned with Sebastian Elcano on the ship of Victoria after they circumnavigated the world. Primary source: Pigafetta's testimony on the route of Magellan expedition. The other, and the more complete, was the account by Antonio Pigafetta, Primo Viago, and Torno Almondo. First voyage around the world, Pigafetta, like Albo, was a member of the Magellan expedition and the eyewitness of the event, particularly the first mass.
In Francisco Albo's log, route of Magellan's expeditions in the islands of Saint Lazarus on March 16, 1521, as they sailed in a westerly course from Londrones. They saw land towards the northwest, but owing to many shallow places, they didn't approach it. They found out later that its name was Yunagan. They went instead that same day southwards to another small island named Saluan. Under the anchored, they saw canoes but failed at the Spaniard approach. From Pigafetta's testimony, this seems to be the Aquada or Homonhon. They then continued to sail towards a large island, Celani, that was inhabited and was known to have gold. Celani, called Ceylon by Pigafetta, was the island of Leyte. In Albo's account, the location of Mazava fits the location of Limasawa. However, Albo does not mention the first mass, but only the planting of the cross upon the mountain top. Pigafetta and 7 days in Mazo, March 28, 1521. Magellan sent his slave interpreter ashore in a small boat to ask the king if he could provide the expedition with food supplies, and to say that they had come as friends not as enemies. The native king and his companions returned ashore, bringing with them two members of Magellan's expeditions as guests for the night. One of the two was Pigafetta. March 30, 1521, Pigafetta and his companion had spent the previous evening feasting and drinking with the native king and his son. Pigafetta deplored the fact that although it was Good Friday, they had to eat meat. Early in the morning of Sunday, the last of March and Easter Day, Magellan sent the prize ashore with some men to prepare for the Mass. Later in the morning, Magellan landed with some 50 men and Mass was celebrated, after which a cross was venerated.
In other side, I will tackle or I will explain the controversies and disagreements. Under the Republic Act number 2733 on June 19, 1960, the government declared the island of Limasawa as a national shrine where the first mass happened in the Philippines. However, there were controversies between Limasawa and Masao, or known as Butuan, as to where the first Catholic Mass really happened. As recounted by Pigafetta in his Chronicle of Magellan's expedition to the Philippine Islands starting March 16, 1521, the first Christian Mass celebrated on Philippine soil was made in an island which he called Mazawa. The precise identity and location of this venue of the first Mass became the subject of the writings of historians and scholars whose differing interpretations of Pigafetta's account would eventually lead to a controversy. For 3 centuries, it was the prevailing belief that Pigafetta's Mazawa was a place called Masao near Butuan City in northern Mindanao. The Butuan belief persisted from the 17th to the 19th century, using the primary sources available: Jesuit priest Miguel A. Bernard in his work Butuan or Limasawa, the site of the first mass in the Philippines. A re-examination of evidence 1981 lays down the argument that in the Pigafetta account, a crucial aspect of Butuan was not mentioned, the river. Butuan is a riverine settlement situated on the Agusan River. The beach of Pasao is in the delta of said river. It is a curious omission in the account of the river, which makes part of a distinct characteristics of Butuan's geography that seemed to be too important to be missed. However, former House of Representatives Jaime C. De Vera stated that the first Mass was celebrated in Limasawa, not in Butuan. Historian Pablo Pastels stating that the footnote to Francisco Collins' Labor Evangelica that Magellan did not go to Butuan but from Limasawa to Cebu. American academic historians James Alexander Robertson agreed with Pastels in a footnote that Mazawa was actually Limasawa. In the account of Pegafetta, the port was not in Butuan but an island named Masawa. Pilot of Magellan's flagship, Francisco Albo, does not mention the first mass but the rites that they erected across on a mountain which overlooked three islands in the west and southwest. Resolution of the issue. The commission concluded that the first mass was held in Limasawa. After it found that the most complete and reliable account of the Magellan expedition into Philippines shores in 1521 is that of Antonio Pigafetta, which is deemed as the only credible primary source of reports on the celebration of the first Christian Mass on the Philippine soil. Pigafetta's Mazawa, the site of the first Christian Mass held on Philippine soil, is an island lying off the southwestern tip of Leyte, while Masao in Butuan is not an island but a barangay of Butuan City, located in a delta of the Agusan River along the coast of northern Mindanao. The position of Mazawa, as plotted by Pigafetta, matched that of Limasawa. Magellan's fleet took a route from Homonhon to Mazawa and from Mazawa to Cebu.
First documented Catholic Mass held in the Philippines. The first documented Catholic Mass in the Philippines was held on March 31, 1521, Eastern Sunday. Who conducted the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines? The first Catholic Mass in the Philippines was conducted by Father Pedro de Valderrama of Ferdinand Magellan's expedition.
Where was the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines held? The first Catholic Mass in the Philippines was held on the shores of what was referred to in the journals of Antonio Pigafetta as Mazawa, which is now widely believed to be Limasawa of the tip of southern Leyte.
Was there a conflict about the vocation of the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines? The answer is yes. Until at least the 19th century, the prevailing belief was the first Mass was held in Butuan. This belief is maintained by some who assert that the first Mass was instead held at Masao, Butuan.
To end the conflict for the issue about the first Mass, the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, or NHCP, panel adopted the recommendation and unanimously agreed that the evidence and arguments presented by pro-Butuan advocates are not sufficient and convincing enough to warrant the repeal or reversal of the ruling on the case by the National Historical Institute, the NHCP's forerunner. It is further strengthened by the evidence that it was only after 22 years in 1543 when a Spanish expedition led by Ruy Lopez de Villalobos landed in Mindanao